There we go. Now we have sound here. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Knocked out our sound, but we got it back. I'm sorry we're a little bit late tonight. My wife had the wherewithal to fix Southern fried chicken tonight for dinner. It was awesome. Beautiful Southern fried chicken, some broccoli, and some mashed potatoes. What a treat this was. It was awesome. I'm sorry you guys could not have been here. It was great. It was awesome. Really awesome. Now, folks, today is April 1st. Today is April 1st. Folks, this is a time for jokesters. Okay? Now, I have a lot of information here that is not palatable. Okay? A lot of stuff happens that we really would not like to talk about. But I have some interesting things to talk about here tonight. Give me a second here. I want to show you something. Why is this doing this? Doggone it. I've got a good one for you guys. This is a really good one. What do you call a panda? What do you call a panda? Can anybody tell me what you call a panda? What would you call a panda? Remnant truth for dessert. Guess what we have for dessert? Cream cheese pie. Cream cheese pie my wife made for us. We got a good deal on some cream cheese the other day. We have cream cheese pie for dessert. It's going to be great too. What do we call a panda? Any ideas what we would call a panda? Catherine Sigurdsson said a bear. That's likely. That's likely. What would you call a trickster panda, though? What would you call a trickster panda? This is April Fool's. What would you call a trickster panda? No one's got any ideas what you would call a trickster panda? Kung Fu panda? Almost, not quite. How about a bamboozler? Bamboozler. How about what you call a horse born on April Fool's Day? Or April 15th tax day? What would you call a horse born on tax day? Don Patuka said Chingli. Oh, gosh. What would you call a horse born on tax day? Judy's from Southern California here. Charlene Savannah's here. Demon Catman. Richard Smith, Don Patoka. Mama LaRue is here. Catherine Sigurdsson is here. We have a great lot of people here tonight. What do you call a horse born on tax day? An April Fool. An April Fool. One more here. What advice did the wise men give on April 1st? What advice did the wise men give on April 1st? Only fools rush in. Oh, gosh. Why should you never give us a prank? Excuse me, why should you never prank a sloth? Why should you never prank a sloth? Because they're slow to get the joke. How about this one? I thought of this one early this morning. Do you know what happens on April 1st? Yes, I'm fully aware of it. I am fully aware of it. One more. Why are folks born on March 31st the best people to prank? because they were literally born yesterday. They were literally born yesterday. Now, I just want to share a few funnies with you to get us going here tonight, because we commonly have a lot of things that are very bad happen. And today we've had a few things happen. To get us started today, I want to talk about Myanmar again for a few minutes. I want to talk about Myanmar again for just a few minutes. As we know, Friday night, Saturday morning, we had an 8.7 earthquake that hit Myanmar. An 8.7 earthquake that hit Myanmar, causing death and destruction. Death and destruction from Myanmar and China to the north, all the way down to Bangkok, Thailand to the south. 600 miles between both cities, both places, and yet we had a major skyscraper collapse in Bangkok, Thailand. Huge. Huge. Really unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Survivors from Myanmar earthquake are still being found, but hopes begin to fade as now we have a death toll over 2,700 people that have passed away as a result of that earthquake. Rescue workers saved a 63-year-old woman today from the rubble of a building in Myanmar's capital this morning. But today, hopes are fading to find many more survivors of this violent earthquake that killed over 2,700 people, compounding a humanitarian crisis caused by a civil war. The fire department in Napatayada said the woman was successfully pulled from the rubble 91 hours after being buried when the building she was in collapsed from a magnitude 8.7 earthquake. Experts say the likelihood of finding survivors drops dramatically after 72 hours. Now, casualty numbers are forecast to increase dramatically now. The head of Myanmar's military government, General Min Aung Hlaing, told the forum in the capital of Myanmar that they have now found 2,719 people that are dead. 4,520 others have been injured, and they still believe there are at least 441 missing. Unreal. These figures are widely expected to rise, but the earthquake hit a wide swath of country, leaving many areas without power, telephone or cell service, and damaging roads and bridges. As I said before, one great big huge long bridge that was built in 1907 between the capital and the other town that suffered such damage, Mandalay. That huge bridge fell down. There were people on that bridge. Okay? That earthquake damaged roads and bridges, leaving the full extent of the devastation hard to even access, let alone get to. Okay? Let alone try to find survivors. Many of the reports have come so far from Mandalay, Myanmar's second largest city, which was near the epicenter of the earthquake. Unreal. The needs are massive. They're rising by the hour. The window for life-saving response is closing. Across the affected areas, families are facing acute shortages of clean water, food, and medical supplies. Medical supplies are being flown in from around the world. Britain, the United States, and China and Russia. Other countries around the Southeast Asian corridor have also contributed supplies, including food and water and medical supplies as well. Even Kansas City has sent medical people in and police and cadaver dogs, sending them in to help, search and rescue. But the window for finding survivors alive is fading fast. This area is trying to recover from a civil war, but the civil war is far from over. They've declared a truce only for a couple weeks. Ceasefire. Myanmar's fire department said 403 people have been rescued in Mandalay. 259 bodies have been found so far. In one incident alone, 50 Buddhist monks who were given a religious exam to take in a monastery were killed when the building collapsed around them. And 150 more are thought to be buried in the rubble. Structural damage is extensive, as we have reported. The World Health Organization has said that 10,000 buildings overall are known to have collapsed or been severely damaged. The earthquake has also rocketed neighboring Thailand, as we told you before, causing a high-rise building that was under construction to collapse, and 43 people in it are missing. 43 people are missing, possibly being buried in the rubble. 2 bodies were pulled from the rubble on Monday. Another was recovered this morning, but dozens are still missing. Overall, there are at least 21 people killed and 34 injured in Bangkok. In Myanmar, search and rescue efforts are going on across the affected part of the area, and they paused just briefly at midday today as people stood for a minute to pay silent tribute to the dead. Relief efforts are at a sluggish pace. Foreign aid workers have been arriving slowly to help in the rescue efforts. But progress is still very slow, with a lack of heavy machinery in many places. In one site in Napatada, on Tuesday, the capital of Myanmar, workers formed a human chain, passing chunks of brick and mortar, hand by hand, from one ruins of a collapsed building into the street. The Myanmar military government's official Global New Light of Myanmar reported today that a team of Chinese rescuers saved 4 people the day before from the ruins of a Sky Villa, a high-rise house, a large apartment complex that collapsed during the quake. They included a 5-year-old and a pregnant woman who had been trapped for more than 60 hours. The same publication has reported 2 teenagers were able to crawl out of the rubble of the same building, where rescue crews had been working, using their cell phone flashlights to help guide people out. The rescue workers were also able to use details from what they had been told to locate a grandmother and her sibling. Unreal. They helped locate a grandmother and her sibling. International rescue teams from many countries are on the scene, including from Russia, China, India, the United Arab Emirates, and the United States. U.S. Embassy said an American team had been sent but had not yet arrived. I just found out before we came on the air that we have people from Kansas City on the way as well. Now, there have been aid pledges pouring in as officials warn of disease outbreak. That happens when bodies are decaying and people are not taking adequate precautions to protect themselves. Meantime, multiple countries are pledging $1 million in aid to assist Myanmar, and humanitarian aid organizations are also on hand with the monumental task ahead. Even before the earthquake, more than 3 million people had been displaced from their homes in Myanmar's brutal civil war, and nearly 20 million were in need, according to the United Nations. Now, I don't respect the United Nations at all, but when there's earthquakes or other horrible things that happen, usually the first aid organization is in from the United Nations. Many people here are already lacking in basic medical care and standard vaccinations, and the destruction of water and the sanitation infrastructure has been totally trashed by the earthquake. Even the idea raises the risk of disease outbreaks. The displacement of thousands into overcrowded shelters, coupled with the destruction of water and sanitation infrastructure, has significantly heightened the risk of communicable disease outbreaks. Vulnerability to respiratory infections, skin diseases, vector-borne diseases, coupled with the destruction of water and infrastructure problems, it just heightens the effort. It's escalating. Now, something else is going to happen very shortly. We are going into the area of monsoon season. The onset of monsoon season is also a huge worry. Shelter is a major problem, especially with monsoon season looming. Since the earthquake happened, many people have been sleeping outside, either because homes were destroyed or out of fear of aftershocks. Aftershocks are happening relentlessly. Over 400 aftershocks in the last 30 hours. 400 aftershocks within the last 30 hours. And USGS is not reporting them. Government forces have lost control of much of Myanmar, and many places were dangerous or almost impossible for aid groups to reach even before the quake. Military trucks and those from some anti-military groups have not stopped in the aftermath of the quake, although the shadow opposition National Unity Government has called for unilateral ceasefire for its forces. The NUG, established by elected lawmakers, were ousted in 2021, called for the international community to ensure humanitarian aid is delivered directly to the earthquake victims, urging vigilance against any attempts by the military junta to divert or obstruct humanitarian assistance. We are in a race against time to save lives. Any obstruction of these efforts will have devastating consequences, not only due to the impact of the earthquake, but also because of the junta's continued brutality, which actively hinders the delivery of life-saving assistance. It wasn't immediately clear whether the military has been impeding humanitarian aid. In the past, it initially refused to allow any foreign rescue missions in. Emergency supplies after Cyclone Norges in 2008, which resulted in well over 100,000 people being killed. Even once it did allow foreign assistance, it was with severe restrictions. The military there is trying to take over their country. So far they have not succeeded. The resistance, civilians fighting against their own military government, are actually winning, but it's slow. And because of the interference with the military, 100,000 people died the last time they had a storm come in. Sad. Cyclone Norges came in 2008. 100,000 people died because of the military. Now, on the day of the earthquake, the country is accepting outside help. Tom Andrews, who's a monitor on rights in Myanmar's commissioned by the UN-backed Human Rights Council, said that to facilitate aid, the military attacks must stop. To facilitate aid, the military attacks must stop. Folks, if you have any push or pull on any politicians in your area, please ask them to send aid to Myanmar and also to Thailand. They need our help. They need our help. If the military junta can kill 100,000 people by refusing them humanitarian aid after a cyclone comes through, this could be worse. This could be much worse. If you have any kind of ideas of being able to contact your politicians, do so. and asked them to assist Myanmar and Thailand with humanitarian aid after this quake. I know they would be greatly appreciated. I know Trump has sent over aid. Kansas City specifically had sent aid over there. I pray this doesn't stop. I pray this does not stop. We saw this earthquake come in. We knew it was going to be bad. And our own agency declined to even tell the truth about the earthquake. Our own agency won't tell the truth about anything, unfortunately. Does anybody have any questions for me about Myanmar, Thailand, or this earthquake? Any questions? Ray was talking about an underwater volcano erupting, possibly even off the west coast of the United States around Washington. That is a possibility. That is a possibility that it might have happened. Okay, I'm not gonna say it didn't happen. It might have happened. Catherine Sigurdsson said in the chat here, 1.9 billion years ago, my area in northern Manitoba was formed by an aquatic volcano. The whole area was underwater. And yes, there is a volcano. There is a volcano over in the Great Lakes. In the Great Lakes. Catherine Sigurdsson says she doesn't know what is under her. Most people don't. There are volcanoes all over this country, side to side, top to bottom. Alaska, 160 volcanoes in Alaska alone. And more volcanoes all over mainland United States and Canada. Okay? Volcanoes all over Europe. Volcanoes all over Eastern Asia. All over China and Russia. Turkey, Syria. We've seen what happened over in Greece and the Dokanese Islands. Romania. Croatia. Italy. Spain, France, Germany, Austria. Everywhere has volcanoes, guys. Everyone has volcanoes. That leads me to my next story. Early this morning, we had another eruption. We had another eruption over in Iceland this time. It was the volcanic Iceland fissure eruption again. Volcanic fissure eruption. Let me show you this from Fox News. Now, before I play the video for you, look where this fissure eruption is occurring. Just outside the protective wall that had been built on the northwest side of Grindavik. Northwest side of Grindavik. Look where this protective wall is. There's actually two protective walls. Also on the inner protective wall on the Grindavik side. Look what's happened. Lava has penetrated underneath the protective wall. So now we have active lava that's running towards Grindavik. Now, to be honest, there's only a small amount of magma that's made its way through the earthen wall. Only a small amount of lava has made it through the earthen wall. Let me play this video for you. The sound you hear right here is the lava erupting from the fissure. Unreal, huh, guys? Unreal. Again, we have two walls between the active fissure and Grindavik. Unreal. Now, folks, to be honest, I did not think we would have another eruptive fissure this close to Grindavik. Again, this is on the northwest side of Grindavik. Northwest side of Grindavik. Let me show you some other pictures here. This is crazy. This is really crazy. Okay? Unreal. I want to show you this map first. Now, I'm going to enlarge the map so you can see what I'm talking about. As we talk about what's going on here. This red area that is blocked in red, that's Grindavik. This area right here is Grindavik. Okay, just outside Grindavik to the northwest is where this new fissure eruption is going. Now it is only about 1,200 feet long. 1,200 feet long. That's not very far. The last eruption we had was 2,300 meters long. That was huge fissure eruption. This is only 1,200 feet long. It's outside Grindavik. But like I said, the lava has penetrated the main wall of the protective wall of Grindavik. But only a small amount of lava has gotten in. Hopefully that can be controlled, so we don't lose any more buildings or homes in Grindavik. But let me show you this. This is an abandoned greenhouse just outside the protective wall of Grindavik. You can see the lava fountaining upwards. That's scary enough. That is scary enough. Unreal. Literally unreal. Look at this. This is an aerial view that gives you an idea where that greenhouse is and where the lava is erupting. Unreal. Now, folks, I want to show you something else. I've been watching earthquakes in this area for quite some time. A long, long time, in fact. Since this has happened, it's going to be ongoing as I said it was. Okay? I honestly thought that any more eruptions would be far north of Grindavik, but that didn't happen. Why did it happen here again? Because magma under the ground had already found a weak point near Grindavik. So we have another weak point here, and it erupted. Now, we have earthquakes north of here. We have earthquakes north of here, which means magma is already making its way north. Magma is already making its way north. Now here, with this photograph here, look at all the earthquakes that have been reported over in the Reykjanes Peninsula. Most of these earthquakes are down on the far south end of the Reykjanes Peninsula. Most of those earthquakes are where the first volcano erupted some 3 years ago. Since then, the lava has made its way north. The lava has continued to make its way north. It's made its way north of Grindavik. It's made its way further north than that. The last eruption last November went further north, way further north. Now, what's going to happen now? Nobody knows. But I want to show you this. This is what's important here. Okay? We had a 5.2 earthquake early this morning. We had a 5.2 earthquake up here early this morning. It was just south and east of the capital Reykjavik. Just southeast of the capital Reykjavik. See this big earthquake, this very big orange dot there? That's a large 5.2 earthquake. This earthquake I've highlighted in blue, that is a 5.0 earthquake. A 5.0 earthquake some 18 kilometers southeast of Grindavik, out in the Atlantic Ocean. 18 kilometers southeast of Grindavik in the Atlantic Ocean. The other orange dot that you see that's smaller, that is a 4.6 earthquake that's almost directly east from Reykjavik, the capital of Iceland. Let me bring up the USGS map now. Okay, as I said, the large earthquake here is a 5.2 that happened early this morning. This one here, they have actually moved it. Doggone it. This one was directly east of Reykjavik. This area here is Reykjavik, Iceland. This is the capital of Iceland here. Okay? But that 4.6 was out east of Reykjavik, and now they've moved it northeast. So we had a 5.2 earthquake here. Guess what? Can you tell me where these earthquakes or why these earthquakes happen? Why did these earthquakes happen? Tell me where these earthquakes came from and why they happened. USGS is not even telling us the truth here. They're showing this one earthquake out in the Atlantic Ocean here, way far east of Grindavik. USGS says this is southwest of Grindavik. It's not. Grindavik is far southwest of that earthquake. Grindavik is up here. Right up here. Grindavik is far away from that earthquake. Not southwest, it's southeast of that earthquake. Now, a lot of stuff is going to happen now. I guarantee you a lot of stuff is going to happen now. The people here in Grindavik are worried. They have a right to be worried. They very much have a right to be worried. Why? Why might you ask, do they have a right to be worried? Because, folks, their very lives have been here. Actually, that's not Grindavik. Grindavik's up here. Sorry about that. There's Grindavik right there. Anyway, their lives revolve around this town. As I said, Grindavik is a shipping port. Their ships leave early in the morning and come back late at night, laden with fish. This is a fish processing plant. Fish from Grindavik get transported all over Iceland. All over Iceland. There are still people living here. There used to be 3,000 homes here. A lot of people now have been evacuated. They do not expect that this kind of volcanic eruption will happen anytime soon again. Right here, this great big huge wall goes all the way around Grindavik. All the way around Grindavik. All the way around, as you can see. Right now, the authorities are hoping that this fissure eruption does not last very long. Because if it doesn't, we are still seeing earthquakes north of here. They're still seeing a lot of earthquakes north of here. It's happened before. It's going to happen again and again. Now, the last time we had a volcanic eruption was way up here to the north, near Stor-Skovfeld. We believe that's going to happen again. But again, we're having earthquakes up here as well. We know that the magma beneath the earth is pushing through the bedrock, causing those earthquakes. Now, what is troubling from the authorities over at Reykjavik is they've seen that earthquake up north here. If they've had that earthquake, what else might they then happen? Is there magma that's already worked its way up? Possibly. Where does the magma reservoir at? There's a magma reservoir down here, underneath Svartsengi. This is the Svartsengi power plant right here. The Svartsengi power plant. This power plant sends heated water, and it's powered by steam from the volcano, just like we have down in the Imperial Valley in California, just like we have over in Northern California, just like we have over in Reno, Nevada, and over in Coza Volcanic area. These geothermal power plants provide power, and in this case, it provides power, it provides hot water to all the residents around Iceland. It also heats their home. The hot water from this power plant heats people's homes. The power plant is here because we have a great big huge magma reservoir down beneath this power plant. Huge magma reservoir. And up until this week, this magma reservoir was filling up. How do we know that? Because there are GPS devices here in this area that show land rise. GPS devices right here in this area show land rise, meaning the magma chamber down underneath Svartsengi was filling up, and is still filling up to some way. What is right next to Svartsengi power plant? The Blue Lagoon Spa. The Blue Lagoon Spa right here. The Blue Lagoon Spa is an undertaking that they have here. It's a tourist trap where people from around the world come here to soak in the soothing waters of the Blue Lagoon. The Blue Lagoon water is heated by the magma beneath the power plant and the spa here. Right now, they have not closed the spa. They have not closed the spa. It remains open for the time being. Now, if there is a lot of wind surrounding this present eruption, that could mean we've had sulfur dioxide gas and carbon dioxide gas that would be broadcast or blown over here into the area where the Blue Lagoon Spa is. They're hoping it doesn't happen. They're hoping that does not happen. Because the last time it did, last year, they had to evacuate the spa many times. They also had to almost close down the Svartsengi power plant. The Svartsengi power plant is on remote. It's powered remotely. So they don't even have to have people here unless they need to have them there. It's powered remotely, but that can't happen with a spa. So we want to keep the spa open. The spa is one of the main centers for tourist money to Iceland. Help support Iceland here. But Svartsengi is rising because there's that magma reservoir down underneath the ground here. Okay? That magma reservoir is supplying all this magma presently to this eruption. Again, we didn't think, and the scientists didn't think this would happen. They actually thought that the magma would go north up here. But the bad thing is, what else is going on here? What else is going on here? See that red earthquake fault here? That red earthquake fault is the Mid-Atlantic Fault. The Mid-Atlantic Fault. What do we know about the Mid-Atlantic Fault? The Mid-Atlantic Fault is expanding, isn't it? It's expanding. Now, one thing good about this. See where that Mid-Atlantic Fault is here? You can see it here. These earthquakes that happened today, the 5.2 and the 4.6 earthquake that happened just north of Reykjavik, Iceland, they are not on the Mid-Atlantic Fault. But again, the other bad thing is that magma may be pushing its way through the bedrock over here towards Reykjavik. That might be bad. That might be very bad. Usually when we have a large 5.0 to 5.2 earthquake, that usually means there's going to be an eruption. That's what we hope does not happen. When I first saw this 5.2 earthquake here today, that's the first thing I thought about. Oh my gosh, we've had a volcanic eruption over here. But that wasn't the case. The volcanic eruption was over just northwest of Greenvik. Okay? Let's hope and pray it doesn't happen. Let's hope and pray that USGS starts getting its directions right. Because this earthquake down here in the Atlantic Ocean is not south-southwest of Greenvik. It's south-southeast of Greenvik. USGS still can't get their directions right, and they never can do almost anything right anymore. They're lying to the public. They're absolutely lying to the public. While we are here, we have some small minor earthquakes over here in Spain. But of course, they're not going to show that to us, are they? Heaven forbid. There's some minor earthquakes and tremors over here in France. Over here in the Alps Mountains here between France, Germany, Switzerland, and Italy. France, Germany, Switzerland, and Australia, and Germany are over on the north side of the Alps. Here in the Alps and along the foothills of the Alps to the north. That's where we have some minor earthquakes and tremors. On the south side, we have Italy. We have some minor earthquakes and tremors here. That's pretty much normal. However, down here in central Italy, we have a bunch of earthquakes here. We have about 25 earthquakes here in the swarm here. But again, USGS will not even report on these earthquakes. Heaven forbid. The last time we had a swarm of earthquakes like this, we had an actual 5.0 earthquake that happened. A 5.0 earthquake that happened. But of course, USGS can't be trusted. They're not reporting on this earthquake, and they probably won't be reporting on others in the future. They can't be trusted. Sad. Sad thing when our agency, the preeminent seismic agency in the world, can't be trusted. We have a group of about 20 earthquakes here in central Italy. We're probably going to have a 5.0 earthquake there. It's happened in the past. Probably going to happen in the future. Down here to the southwest, right here. This is another place where we're having a lot of earthquakes. USGS is still not reporting on this and hasn't reported on this in at least 2 weeks. We're having some earthquakes here. Why? Because we have a volcano that's going to erupt. We have a volcano that's going to erupt. Campi Flegrei volcanoes here in Italy. They've been having constant quakes here for weeks now. They've also evacuated a great portion of the people that live here. Why? Because this is a huge urban environment. Huge urban environment. Let's zoom closer in here so you can see what I'm saying. Look at all the homes out here. Look at all the homes out here. Homes and businesses all over this area. It's no small wonder that Italy has evacuated quite a few people from this area because they fear that this volcano is going to erupt. And scientists are saying it's going to. We have earthquakes here today, and USGS is not talking about them at all. At all. Sad. Sad. Down south here in Italy, right here in the heel, or not the heel, the toe of the boot here of Italy. Italy looks like a great big boot from satellite. Down here in the toe of the boot, we have a bunch of small minor earthquakes and tremors. Over here in Sicily, the same thing. We have two volcanoes out here, just out here in the water, off of Italy and Sicily. Stromboli and Mount Etna volcanoes are out here. And yes, both volcanoes are erupting. Both volcanoes are erupting. Crazy as it seems. Volcanoes are literally all around the earth. All around the earth, guys. Christine, please let me tell the story and don't put anybody else's name in the chat. Don't put links to anybody's name or any other person here in the chat at all. That's for me to do. You have to have permission for me to put, or for you to put anything in here. Anyone that puts links to anybody needs to have my permission. As a result, your chat was taken down. Okay? I'm the one talking about earthquakes and volcanoes here. I'm the one talking about these things here. And yes, even plasma events from the sun. I talk about them here. We're going to talk about solar events in just a few minutes. Okay? This is what's happening in Italy, guys. All over this area. Let's back out here. Over here in Greece, a lot of earthquakes here. Why are they not showing them? Why are they not showing these earthquakes here in Greece? Inquiring minds want to know. Over here in the Dupage Islands, west of Turkey, and over here between Greece and Turkey. These islands are called the Dupage Islands. They belong to Greece. We have quite a few earthquakes out here, and there may be an underwater volcano that's going to erupt in here. We may be having an underwater volcano erupt over here. It's a matter of time. Literally an amount of time. Right over here, between Amorgos and Santorini Island. Amorgos is right there. Santorini Island is right here. Okay? Magma down beneath the surface here, causing earthquakes here. And they fear they might have a volcanic eruption here, and that could happen any day. We don't show any earthquakes around Crete or Greece at all. There are. A lot of them. There's about 18 earthquakes in Greece. Okay? Over here. We're showing one earthquake over here in southern Turkey here. This is a moderate 4.2 earthquake. They're not showing any other earthquakes here in Turkey to the south, west, or even north. They're not showing any earthquakes here in eastern Turkey either. Nothing. However, they're showing one earthquake down here in Cyprus. This is a 3.1 earthquake here near Pachina, Cyprus. Okay? Beware. All of these islands were created by volcanoes. All of these islands were created by volcanoes. This is a 3.1 small earthquake here. Up here to the north here, This is the area I talked about a few minutes ago. This is the eastern part of Turkey and the Syrian border region. This is where we had a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake that happened here February 3rd, 2023. 9.0, 10.0 earthquake that happened here February 3rd, 2023. Along with that earthquake, it killed over 5,000 people and injured over 5,000 more. That major earthquake opened up a huge fissure, 14 miles long and 18 stories deep. You could fit an 8-story building down inside that fissure. What happened over in that wonderful place we just visited? What happened in Myanmar? Another major fissure. Now, I did not get a length of that fissure that opened up, but I saw it was long and I saw it was deep. That only happens when we have a major 9.0 earthquake. We've seen it happen before. There was a 9.0 earthquake that happened over in Antarctica 4 years ago. It also left a 12-mile fissure deep in the ice of Antarctica. EMA, Emergency Management Associates, was the only agency that talked about that earthquake. We were the only ones talking about that 9.0 earthquake. And then, scientists were lifted up in the air with a plane and flew over the Antarctic. Then they found that fissure. And it was only then that USGS even admitted that there had been a 9.0 earthquake. Before that, they were telling everybody that Ron Tyler was wrong, that I was wrong and didn't know what I was talking about. Every time there's been a 9.0 earthquake anywhere, we've been right. There was a great big huge volcanic eruption in the Kamchatka Peninsula. Shibboleth volcano erupted 4.5 years ago. Erupted over 85,000 feet high. When it erupted, we reported on it. USGS said we were out of our minds, that it didn't happen. 3 days later, they had to eat their shorts because they found out that people in Alaska saw ash falling down from the sky, ash from the Shibboleth volcano. 2 days after it erupted, ash from the Shibboleth volcano had fallen on the skies of Alaska. Folks, ash traveled 2 days around the globe. Not 2 days, but 2 times around the globe. And yet, USGS first said it didn't happen. They don't tell us the truth, they never have. They didn't tell us the truth about this earthquake in Turkey, Syria border region. They didn't tell the truth about Antarctica. They didn't tell the truth about Shibboleth volcano. And they almost refused to tell the truth about what happened in Hunga Pai volcano down in Tonga. They said then that it was just a volcanic eruption. It also was over 85,000 feet into the air, into the stratosphere, just like Shibboleth. But now they're saying that the Hunga Pai volcano was the largest volcanic eruption in history. Largest volcanic eruption in history. Incredible. They're not showing any earthquakes down here in Saudi Arabia. There are. The earthquakes down here in the United Arab Emirates. Earthquakes here in Iran. They're not showing those either. They're not showing any earthquakes here in Africa. What a joke. There are earthquakes down here in southern Africa and even earthquakes over here in the African Rift right here in Ethiopia. Earthquakes here today. 4.5 and 4.3 earthquakes here. They're not reporting. Why not? Let's go over here to the Afghanistan, Tajikistan, and Kazakhstan area. We have a brand new earthquake that just happened while we've been on the air. This is a 4.6 moderate earthquake here. USGS has been calling them light earthquakes. There's no such thing as a light 4.6. They are moderate earthquakes. They cause moderate damage, not light damage. This is a 4.6 moderate earthquake. This is 88 kilometers deep. Still a fairly shallow earthquake. Still a fairly shallow earthquake. Between this earthquake in Afghanistan and all the way over here to northeastern India, this is called the Himalaya Mountains. The Himalaya Mountains. This is the edge of the plate. This is the edge of the continental plate here. That's why we get earthquakes here in the the India-Chinese border region, Nepal even. That's why you get earthquakes here. This earthquake in Nepal, this 8.79.0 earthquake that happened here, that seismic energy has gone over here into the Himalaya Mountains now. It's gone over here in the Himalaya Mountains. I fully expect sometime within the week to see a major earthquake happen here, somewhere here in the Himalaya Mountains. I fully expect it. I expect it to be a 6.0, 7.5 earthquake here in the Himalaya Mountains. Okay? This earthquake over here in Myanmar today, this near Mandalay. This is near Mandalay. They say it's 15 kilometers west-northwest of Mandalay. This is another 5.0 earthquake. A 5.0 large earthquake happened here. We are seeing aftershocks. We're seeing aftershocks from 3.5 small earthquakes on up to 6.2 aftershocks. 6.2 very strong earthquakes. 5.0 very large earthquakes. This was a 5.0. Also 10 kilometers deep. Fairly shallow. South of there is another moderate earthquake. It's a 4.8. It's on the upper 4.8 range, upper side of 4s. This was felt. This earthquake was felt just like the 5.0 was. Folks, this caused moderate damage. It also weakened the other buildings and homes that were struck by the original earthquake. Every time we have an earthquake in this region now, it's going to further weaken the buildings, homes, and other structures here. And what the big earthquake didn't take down, these aftershocks probably will. I feel very bad for the people that live here and the people that are trapped underneath the rubble. It's a very sad day. Anytime we get a big earthquake like that, it becomes a very sad day. It's life issues. Life issues. As most of you know, I am very much pro-life. I will do anything to help people survive. Anything happens. That's why I work as emergency manager. That's why I preach preparedness. That is why we talk about emergencies and disasters. That way you have an idea of what you might face. It's going to happen. This is not the only place it's happening. Down here in Thailand, there are also other earthquakes, and USGS is not talking about it. Not talking about it. Down here in Indonesia, they're not talking about all the earthquakes here. Why not? Why not? I've answered that question again and again, almost every program that we have. Because the United States Geological Survey doesn't want to talk about it. Heidi Pedrick just a few minutes ago gifted 5 memberships to people here in the chat. Those people that received 1-month memberships here, please thank Heidi Pedrick. Heidi Pedrick also gave us another $50 super chat. Heidi, thanks so much. God bless you, my sister. God bless you. We appreciate that. Appreciate that very much. Thank you so much for your support and your kindness and love to all of our fellow EMA members. God bless you. God bless you. We certainly appreciate it, guys. Certainly appreciate it. Vicky says that was very generous. Yes, it was. Heidi says, God bless you, Ron. God bless you. Heidi's been a very staunch supporter of our family here, our channel. Ruthie B was gifted a 1-month membership here. Hitchhiker Effect was gifted a 1-month membership. Be Real Beast was gifted a 1-month membership. Mary Undoer of Knots was gifted a 1-month membership. Vicky was also gifted a membership by Heidi Petrick. Those of you that got this, please thank Heidi for her generosity and thank her for making you a member of our channel. It's greatly appreciated. Unreal. God bless you, Heidi. And I want to show you some things here. On my device here, I'm going over to Indonesia. I want to show you what's actually happened there. Because what USGS is not telling us is they're lying to us. They're showing us 3 earthquakes over here in eastern Indonesia. 3 earthquakes. What a joke. What a joke. Folks, look at this. Let me bring up my webcam so I can show you this. I'm almost embarrassed. When I was in college studying geology, I very much looked up to USGS. But because of what USGS continues to do, and even not do, I have very little, if no respect at all, for USGS. I'm talking mostly about managers. Every one of those managers should be fired. They should be fired. Look at what's happened in Indonesia today. Look at all these earthquakes here. Look at all these earthquakes. 20 earthquakes over here in eastern Indonesia. What's happened over here in Java, Indonesia today? There are 2 earthquakes over here in southern Java. One is a 3.4 and the other is a 2.9, 3.0. 3.4 and a 2.9, 3.0 right here. Java, Indonesia. Sumatra, southern Sumatra. This is a 3.2 earthquake here. Northern Sumatra. This is another 3.6 earthquake here. See that red earthquake fault there that just runs off the coast of Sumatra there and over through the eastern Indian Ocean there? Guess where that earthquake fault goes? Right up here in the Myanmar and Thailand. That is why we had these earthquakes here on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, yesterday, and today. That area continues to get hit. This area is continuing to get hit. They just didn't have 2 earthquakes. They had dozens. Dozens. And we are not even showing all of them here. We're not even showing all of them here. Let me just give you a recap here. Okay? 1.5, 1.7, 2.0, 2.0, 2.6, 2.4, 2.4, 2.1, 2.8, 3.3, 2.2, 2.8, 2.7, 2.8, Mandalay, 2.8, 3.2, 4.8. The 4.8 was listed by USBS. Further north, 3.5, 3.4, Further north, 3.2, 3.6, 3.6. Further north, 3.5. Look at that. And there's 10 other earthquakes here that I did not even mention. There's just not 2 earthquakes there. The 5.0 large and the 4.8. There's 32 earthquakes there that the USGS didn't even talk about. Sad. Sad that our own agency refuses to be honest with the people. Down here in southeastern Indonesia, look at all the earthquakes here. And the Banda Sea here. The Banda Sea. 2.6, 4.0. 4.0 moderate earthquake there. South of there, 3.9, 4.0. 3.2, 2.5, 4.4 in Kotabu, Indonesia.
Location
4.4 earthquake there.
Japan, class moderate, magnitude 5.0, depth 6.2 miles, 12 minutes ago.
Another 5.0 earthquake over in the Ryukyu Islands, south of Japan. Northern Indonesia, 2.9, 3.0, 3.0, 2.6, 2.6, 3.1, 3.2, and a 3.6. Those are earthquakes that USGS didn't even talk about. Let's go over to south of Mindanao, Philippines. This is a 3.4 earthquake here. Mindanao, Philippines is the largest island in the southern Philippines. 3.4 earthquake there. Up over by Taiwan, just off the coast of southeastern Taiwan, we have another 3.0 earthquake there. Okay? USGS not talking about it. Why not? Let's go over into the islands south of Japan. Okinawa, a 3.4 earthquake there. North of there, the Ryukyu Islands, another 4.8 earthquake there. And we just had a 5.0 there just a few minutes ago. Kyushu, Japan, southern Japan, a 2.7 earthquake there. Over in Honshu, Ibaraki, Japan, 3.7 in Honshu, Japan right there. This is a very populated area. This is just a small earthquake. Rumble beneath their feet. 3.7 earthquake in Honshu, Japan there. North of Hokkaido in the Kuril Islands. This is a 3.7 earthquake in Russia. The Kuril Islands belong to Russia. This is a 3.7 in the Kuril Islands. I don't believe any of those islands are populated. Over here in Kamchatka Peninsula, nothing. Nothing. Kamchatka Peninsula is that island, or not island, but it's a peninsula of Russia. Over in central Kamchatka, this is Shivelus volcano right there. That same volcano that erupted up to 85,000 feet 4.5 years ago. That's the volcano. Shivelus has been erupting off and on since then, but never as high as it erupted that day. Incredible. Incredible. We go over into Hawaii. Let's talk about Hawaii. We haven't talked about Hawaii in quite some time. Let's talk about Hawaii here. second. I want to give you a bigger picture here. Just south of Kilauea volcano, we have a 1.75 and a 1.9 2.0 earthquake right there. These are near the coast, just south of Kilauea. Now Kilauea, guys, is erupting. Kilauea up here is erupting. It's erupting on the southwestern side of the volcano. The southwestern side of the volcano, Kilauea is erupting here. Right there. There's Kilauea. Now you're not seeing any eruption. This is a satellite photograph. But Kilauea is erupting today. It's fountaining. Okay? Right down here inside the crater. The southwestern part of the crater. Kilauea is erupting today. This is the area I just told you about. This is near the shoreline, not far from the shoreline of the Big Island here, south of Kilauea. 2 minor earthquakes down there. We go over to Fern Forest area, Leilani Estates. This is actually closer to Leilani Estates. They have this listed as Leilani Estates here. Look where this earthquake is. This is a 2.0 earthquake. Look where this earthquake is. Notice where it's at. This is in a volcanic field. Why? Because the last time Kilauea erupted, all of a sudden the magma, the lava that was in the volcano left. Totally left. Pu'o volcano was also erupting at the time. The lava in that volcano also disappeared. We know now, when that happened, there were 24 fissures that erupted over here in Fern Forest and Leilani Estates. 1,500 homes were destroyed. Lives were destitute over here. Hundreds of thousands of people, I can't say hundreds of thousands of people left homeless, but thousands of people left homeless here. Leilani Estates here. A lot of these fissures that erupted turned into named volcanoes. The Hawaiian people named these volcanoes. Now we're having another earthquake here, a 2.0 earthquake here in Leilani Estates. Why did this earthquake happen? Can anybody tell me why that earthquake happened? Because magma is still going.
Magnitude 4.1, 7 minutes ago.
4.1 in southern China a few minutes ago. Magma has gone over here to Leilani Estates, and that's why we're having earthquakes here. Magma is down beneath the surface, pushing its way through the bedrock, causing these earthquakes. Rebecca, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Go ahead and put your granddaughter to bed. Give her a hug for all of us. We appreciate it. God bless you, Rebecca. Rebecca's had some real issues with the members of her family. She needs our prayers. Rebecca needs our prayers. Thank you, Rebecca, for being here. Anyway, that's what's happening in Hawaii. North of the Big Island. We're having another 3.0 earthquake here. Okay, notice where it's at. It's on the edge of the island here. Notice where the island stretches out into the water. We're having an earthquake. Magma down beneath the surface causing these earthquakes. Magma down beneath the surface causing these earthquakes. All kinds of fun. Over in the southern peninsula of Alaska, this is near Falls Pass, Alaska. This is a 0.25 microquake. Falls Pass, Alaska. Now, as you can see, we have a lot of other earthquakes here in southern Alaska. I want to show you some of my real concerns with this area. I have some real concerns here, and I think you should as well. That's my son talking. You're gonna call his mom, or he's calling his mom. Down here in south central Alaska, we have the capital city of Anchorage, Alaska. West of Anchorage, Alaska, right here, we have Mount Spur. This is 75 miles west of Anchorage. Mount Spur is showing signs of a possible eruption very soon. We need to be thinking about people around in Anchorage. When this volcano last erupted and it closed down air traffic all over Alaska and the northern hemisphere up here. Jet engines don't like ash. Jet engines don't function in ash-filled environments. We're praying that this doesn't happen. But we know one thing. All of the volcanoes around the world are getting ready to erupt. All of the volcanoes around the world are recharging. Every one of them. They're all recharging. And we need to be aware of it. Mount Spur is just one of Alaska's 160 volcanoes. There's a bunch of them. Just west of Mount Spur, Susitna, Alaska. This is a 1.1 tremor here. Further out and south, Beluga, Alaska. This is a 0.9, 1.0 tremor. Okay? Unreal. Guess what this is? This is Mount Redoubt. For a while, we thought Mount Redoubt might erupt. We have not seen any earthquakes anywhere around Mount Redoubt in quite a long time. But Mount Spur, north of here, is looking like it's going to erupt. But not Mount Redoubt. Alaska. Let's go up to Denali National Park. Over in the north flank of Mount McKinley, we have a 2.0 earthquake here. North flank of Mount McKinley, we have a 2.0 earthquake here. Just northeast of there, also in Denali National Park, we have a 3.7 here. A 3.7. Both these earthquakes do not even have Denali on them. They have other locations because USGS can't get the direction straight. USGS has not had their direction straight in a lot of years. North of there, this says it's 31 miles east of Denali National Park. No, it's 31 miles west of Denali. 31 miles west of Denali, and USGS still can't get its direction straight. Sad. Incredible what happens here. Over near Valdez, Alaska, you see we're still having earthquakes here. This is the 1.3. 1.3 over near Valdez, Alaska. Right in that area, we have another 1.3, and we also have a 2.2 earthquake there. Valdez, Alaska. Okay? Over here in southeastern Alaska, Yakutak, Alaska. This is a 1.3 earthquake, 1.3 tremor here. Yakutak, Alaska. Incredible. This area being between Yakutak and Queen Charlotte Island down here to the south. Huge area, huh? Very much is. Guess what? This is the area where we expect to have a major earthquake. We expect to have a major earthquake here. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm going to show you something else. right here. Sitka volcano. Sitka volcano has been showing signs of a near possible eruption as well. And yet our own agency is not talking about it. Our own agency is not talking about Sitka volcano. Not showing anything here. Nothing. Down here is Queen Charlotte Island I talked about a few minutes ago. Guess what that is right next to it? Cascadia earthquake fault. The Cascade subduction zone. Cascadia volcanic fault. And they don't show any other earthquakes here, along the coast or almost anywhere else. What's wrong with them? They're only showing 2 earthquakes here. Actually 3. Mount Rainier, a 0.36 microquake and 0.4 Mount Rainier. What did I just show you here on Monday? What did I show you here Monday? Small and moderate earthquakes here at Mount Rainier. North of there, the Puget Sound, Chico, Washington. This is 1.86 tremor here. Puget Sound. There are more earthquakes there than ever before. And yet they're just showing some microquakes and tremors there. Unreal. Unreal what they're not showing. Crazy. It's insane. Tomorrow night we're going to talk about earthquakes in Southern California. Look here. They're hardly showing anything going on here in LA, San Diego, or the Imperial Valley. Hardly anything. But there are. There are probably over 500 earthquakes here. Actually more than that. There are over 400 to 500 earthquakes in the Imperial Valley. Over 400 to 500 earthquakes over here, including around Salton Sea. LA itself has probably over 400 earthquakes there itself that they're not talking about. Why not? Why not? They should be. Off the coast of Rosarito Beach, Baja California. And I've been here. I've been fishing off the coast of Rosarito Beach several times. Here we have a 2.35 earthquake off the coast of Rosarito Beach, Baja California. Unreal. Been there, done that. Done that. Does anybody have any questions about anything we've talked about tonight? I've given you a little bit of history of earthquakes around the world and what's going on. Vicky's asking how can they even walk with all that shaking? I agree. They pretty much can't. They pretty much can't. When I showed you what's going on, or in Myanmar in a video yesterday, one guy had left his motor scooter in the middle of the roadway and sat down. Stopped his motor scooter and sat down in the roadway. It's better to be safe than sorry. It's better to be sitting down and be closer to the ground when the earth starts shaking like that, because it's going to take you down and make you fall hard. Make you fall hard. Okay? Don Patoka says carefully. Carefully. I agree. You've got to be careful. We've also talked about when an earthquake hits, to duck, cover, and hold on. Duck underneath a heavy table or a desk. Duck under a heavy table or a desk. Cover your head and your body. Make sure you cover your head and your body. Then hold on. Hold on and make sure you don't get out from underneath that table or desk. Duck, cover, and hold on. That's what you should do to protect yourselves. Now I want to thank Heidi Petrick again for that $50 super chat, and thank her also for making members of our family here. We appreciate that. Those of you that were made members, please tell Heidi Petrick thank you. I'm sure she'd appreciate that. Brothers and sisters, I love you. I care about you. I care about you an awful lot. That's why we're still here. We could have abandoned this channel. We could have abandoned it after YouTube took us down. YouTube took us down 2 years ago. We could have abandoned this channel. We didn't do it. We came right back up on the air. Our last channel had 26,000 members, 26,000 subscribers, and YouTube took us down. We're still here, giving you information that you need to have to survive whatever might happen to you. That's why we're here. That's our job. That's our job. I promised you then, I promise you now, we're not going to give up on you. We want you to be safe. We want to save you from what's going to happen. That's why we talk to you. That's why we share information with each other. We're trying to save lives. Folks, if you want to help support this program, please go to the program description directly below this channel. Below this video, I should say. The program description just below this video. Right below it, you'll find a link to join us as a member of our channel. Right below that, you'll see our email address, rltnspdema @gmail.com. You'll see that going across the bottom of your screen. We appreciate that. Now, besides that, we have a post box, 504 Bethel Road, 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. We'd appreciate any and all support you could send us there. We love cards and letters, especially Carol. Carol loves to get your cards and letters and find out what you're doing to help prepare yourselves and your families. We love hearing it. Write in one of the middle of those letters or the card. Please put a donation there to help support this channel. You can do that. Also, directly below our email address, we also have 2 PayPal addresses and a Venmo. Our mods here tonight have been posting those addresses for you to make it easier to help support this channel. We'd appreciate it. We'd greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much for your help and support. We love you. We love you. Now, I've read this scripture before, and I'm going to read it again tonight. The scriptures here that we have for you, and the scriptures in the Bible, Book of Mormon, Doctrine and Covenants, Pearl Great Price, all of them are God's word for us. I hold these as very sacred. I believe the Bible is very effectual in our lives. I believe the Bible is one of the most correct books on the planet, as long as it's translated correctly. Over here in Philemon, the Epistle Paul is talking to Philemon here. The gospel changed his servant Philemon, a brother of Paul's. Here it says in chapter 1, verse 6 of Philemon, that the communication of thy faith may become effectual by the acknowledging of every good thing which is in you in Jesus Christ. Acknowledging that what you have has been effectual in your life and others through Jesus Christ. For we have great joy and consolation in thy love, because the bowels of the saints are refreshed by thee, brother. The bowels of the saints are refreshed by thee, brother. The same thing holds true with each one of us. The bowels of the saints are brothers and sisters, our children and grandchildren. The bowels of our children and grandchildren are refreshed by each one of us through obedience to the commandments of God. We need to stay on the covenant path. We need to help each other. We need to open our mouths. Open our mouths, and our mouths may be filled. Our mouths may be filled with the knowledge that we have, and God will help us speak to other people, including members of our own family. Please do that. Please do that. Please open your mouths and teach other people. Other people need to listen to the gospel of Jesus Christ. They do. Each one of us can help each other. I have great faith in Jesus Christ. I know He is my King, my Redeemer, my brother, my Savior. And I love Him very much. And He loves each one of you. I know that.
Location, Western Sazang class.
I know you
Magnitude 4.7,
can receive
17 minutes ago.
blessings through Him by staying on the covenant path. Staying on the covenant path. We will receive blessings. Blessings beyond description. Brothers and sisters, I love you like I said. We will be back on the air sometime after 6 p.m., between 6 and 7 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow evening. We're going to be talking about earthquakes in Southern California. Not going to be pretty. It never is. I ask God to be with you. God be with you always. We will see you tomorrow evening. God bless you. God be with you until we meet again. Take care, everyone. Much love. See you soon.